John Wayne B.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, look. Too hot, the haters know they can't fade us. Headed to the top, just stay tuned for the latest. Soon as the episode drop, they gotta play us. All I know is we got the flavor.
What's up? It's your boy Los LOS from the Flava Podcast. You are watching and listening to us. Hey, today we got a special guest, but before the special guest, I want to say what is going on in the world. So today, right now, we're having a hot topic. The hot topic is the World Series, baby. Now, my team did not win, but at least my team got to that part. You know what I'm saying? We got that far. Chicago Cubs, not really. And those sucky Sox, we knew they're not going to get there. I think they won one game all season long. So it is what it is. LA Dodgers, congratulations. You guys got far. Fat Joe did a great job rapping when he was doing his thing. It was the sound system. The sound system sucked. It wasn't Joe. So leave my Puerto Rican brother alone. It wasn't Joe. It was a sound system. It was horrible. But he did a great job. And Ice Cube in LA, he did his thing. Y'all saw it. Y'all seen it. Y'all, same word. It was the same word. But lo viste con tus ojos. Ojos. So shout out to LA for getting that World Series. But right now I want to introduce my guy, my man. We've met a few times already. This is his third time. I think he's here at the studio. Maybe the second time. I'm not even sure. But he is a teacher at Illinois Media School, right? He also plays, I believe I've seen him play the piano. And I think I also seen him play, I want to say the congas? Oh, yeah, I did. He was here playing the congas. That's why I saw it. And he plays other instruments. He also serves in the kingdom of God. Come on, Mr. G.O.D. We love him. So right now, I want to introduce to you Tony TLO Lopez. What's up, Tony?
What's up, big dog? Honor and pleasure to be here, man.
Man, I'm glad you're here. We're finally doing this. We've worked together at the Podcast Summit.
Yep.
That was the second time we met each other, right?
Yeah.
Because you came here one time for the dinner, right?
That's correct, yes.
So how'd you like that dinner?
It was fire. Who was it again? I forget the restaurant and the lady's name.
Oh, so it's Anna.
Anna, yes, Anna.
Yeah, Anna from De Borincuba.
Ana de Borincuba, gracias por la comida. I had a plate and then I had seconds that same night when I went to the crib. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. The food was fire.
Awesome. So how long have you been working for the Illinois Media School?
Yeah, man. So actually, and not to correct you, but I actually don't no longer teach. I'm the education coordinator at the school for the Chicago campus. So
excuse me.
I gotta do the promotion part real quick. No, but I would taught for 8 years at the O'Hare campus. We have two campuses in Illinois, so I was doing that, and then I also taught at the Chicago campus in and out when they needed assistance. But now recently, 2 months ago, I became the coordinator. So basically, hiring teachers and coordinating all that stuff on the education side. So 8 years in the education field, something that I grew up doing sports, broadcasting, and that was my career at first. And then I dissolved into the education field like out of nowhere because I liked teaching. I liked showing and instructing people what to do about something that I like to do. It just like married itself perfectly.
Word.
So that happened in 2016. I became a teacher for the first time after I had done sports media, and I've continued to do sports media. That never stops. I'm still doing it now, which we'll probably talk about in a bit. But 8 years, and I love it. It's like my first passion is music. I'm a musician at heart. I love playing music and creating. I produced 2 albums, but my second passion was sports and doing media, having a show, in the broadcasting field. And then education just came out of nowhere. I was like, yeah, you're going to do this too. Check this out. And I was like, man, I really like this. So yeah, 8.5 years. And I loved it. And I'm still in the field now, just working with students, on a daily basis, trying to get them internship opportunities, hiring instructors and getting them into the field of instruction and showing that part of it. And just giving people opportunities, that's something that I know that you do, on a daily basis. And I think the education field really, falls in line with that too.
Okay, so you went from the classroom to the corner office?
Yeah, to the biggest office actually at my campus. The director has a smaller office than me. I don't know why, Lee, if you're watching this, but yeah, I'm in an office now. But me, man, if people know me, I'm out there. Like I'm in the office doing the administrative stuff, and as soon as I'm done, I'm back out in the hallways, in the classrooms. Like, what y'all doing? What we doing? Oh, what's up? Looking at assignments, projects. That's like the best part of the job, because you're looking at students working on a craft, right? Working on their craft and improving on it on a weekly basis. But not only that, this is a passion of theirs too. So like that's another whole experience of seeing somebody really wanting to do something and then leading them on the back end to make sure they get to their goal. So yeah, but I'm in an office right now for sure. I got a little base area.
Okay. Nice brand new computer.
I got a laptop. I'm not gonna say it's new, but I got a laptop. It opens and it shuts.
There you go.
Back and forth.
Yeah. So sort of like this camera on me. Sort of like this.
Yeah,
like this.
yeah.
Okay. We're good. Okay.
I got one.
Okay. So
plenty of Puerto Rican flags in my office too. Of course.
Okay.
You know what we do.
Yes.
Plastered all over.
Yeah, everywhere. That's just everywhere. I even got a Taino Indian on my arm.
There you go.
It's a half sleeve.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're very, very proud of our heritage.
We are.
So
There's reasons, man. Y'all look up 1948 and look what they did to our people.
come on, somebody. He's coming with the history, bro. He's coming with the history. Let's do this.
Lo digo para que tú lo sepas.
Mira. So, a question. So, we're going to move out of this for a second, and we're going to do some icebreakers, right? Sure. So they got a little bit of information about who you are and what you do. So we're going to go a little deeper on how you work. So I'm going to ask you some questions. The questions are one or the other, and you have to explain why you picked that one.
Okay, cool.
Okay, and some of them might be real silly.
All good.
Okay,
I'm here for it.
I'm going to start for the silly one. All right. Tom or Jerry?
Jerry.
Why?
Because he gets his way, no matter what. He may face turmoil, but at the end of the day, he gets his way. I'm Team Jerry.
Okay. I could deal with that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go with Superman or Batman.
Oh man, it's not that hard, but I really do like Superman. But if I had to be somebody, I'm gonna be a philanthropist, and I'm gonna be Batman. I want to be smart. I want to be a millionaire. I want to do that.
Wait, you take away smartness away from Superman?
No, I'm not saying that Superman isn't smart. I just know that Batman is smarter.
Okay, I want to. Put the camera on me. I want. You see me?
Oh, somebody has oh gosh, somebody's about to rebuttal. Hold on. Go ahead.
I just want to say this. I always pick Superman because the Bible says we're not from this world, and Superman is not from this world.
Oh, you bringing church?
Come on now. Come on, somebody.
Church into
Come
the
on.
building. I see.
So that's why I always pick Superman.
I got you.
Okay.
Batman has a lot of flaws, but I don't know what his kryptonite is. We know what Superman's kryptonite is.
But you first got to get that.
Understood. I'm just saying.
It's called a bullet. A
Sure.
real good bullet.
I feel like when one faces turmoil, one deals with it a little bit. Doesn't deal with it as well as the other one.
That's good. I could agree with that. I could agree with that. I give it
That's
to
all.
you. I give
Well,
it to
yeah,
you.
we're
I
fine.
mean, just Superman. Anyways,
it's all good.
So Chicago Sox and Chicago Cubs.
Man, let me tell you, your intro, I wanted to interrupt you so bad, but I was going to wait till you introduced me. But no, of course I'm a Southside fan. All my family is Cub fans. All my friends, my close friends are Cub fans. I mean, I'm literally always the only White Sox fan in places that I go, and that makes me proud. This is what I say. I don't care if I'm the only White Sox fan in the stadium that day to watch the game.
You'd probably be the only one in the stadium.
That's fine. That's why I make the joke. That's why I'm saying it. If I'm the only one in there, sounds good to me. The few and the proud. Just remember that.
Lord help.
And if you really want me to, this is what, listen, I'm on social media. If you look up TLO and Cub Sox, you're going to find a lot of different stuff on social media. But let me just tell you this one thing. For the Cubs being such a franchise that is so beloved and so adored in the city of Chicago and even around the country, the overall lead between the Cubs and Sox favors the White Sox. The one time the Sox played the Cubs in the World Series, the Sox beat the Cubs in the World Series. And if we really want to be that serious, I don't know how the Cubs as a franchise is not is such a close threshold with the second team in the city that nobody cares about. I mean, I think that's embarrassing. I
agree.
That's it.
Yeah. I totally agree on that. That's why I'm a Yankee fan.
Yeah. Oh, I'll make fun of you of that too in a second. So.
What are you talking about? We got the most rings.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a
Who's got
second.
the most
we
World
have a
Series?
World Series topic coming up, right?
The what?
We have a World Series topic coming up, right?
Do we?
I don't know. Do we? Or did that pass already?
No, I think that passed already. We did that for Hot Topics.
Well, okay. Well, in that case, you're a Yankee fan?
Oh, absolutely.
I got you. You waited 15 years for this.
I waited 15 years for this.
Yeah.
After how many did we have before the 15 years?
Yeah, when we were alive, for sure.
I was alive.
You got a couple, right? What do you got? 6, 5 in your lifetime?
I think about 5.
5?
Yeah.
Okay. You just can't choke like that in the World Series. You can't do that.
It was a huge choke.
That was
A
bad.
huge choke. Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I prayed for you guys.
But we got
Yankee
there.
Fans.
But we got there.
You did. You better get there with that high payroll. I mean, you're paying your players. You need to get to the World Series. If not, it's World Series or nothing. You know what I'm saying?
As we should. So how many games did the Sox win this year?
Well, if you look at the White Sox payroll, I'm about to dive in. Don't let me do it to you. If you look at the White Sox payroll, we don't pay anybody. So we get what we pay for, right? Yeah. So we were the worst
They're
team
at
in
15
MLB.
bucks an hour?
Exactly. We had the worst team in MLB history. And if you look at our payroll, we don't pay anyone. On the other hand, because I like to be devil's advocate here, the Cubs gave Cody Bellinger money. They paid a lot of players, bringing Isaac Paredes, and their payroll is it's a lot larger than the White Sox.
Okay.
No postseason. Again.
No, you're correct.
It's what are you gonna do? And what I say is about when people make fun about the White Sox, yes, Jerry Reinsdorf is a horrible owner. I'm sorry to say that. He just does not care about I feel like he doesn't care anymore about anything. He's got his 7 rings with 1 White Sox ring and 6 with the Bulls. And now it's just like, yeah, I'm about to sell the team anyway. It is what it is. That's what it feels like as fans. But we are not going to be good until we pay people to come here. We don't pay anybody. Our highest contract is Andrew Benintendi, $75 million. That is our highest contract ever in the history of the White Sox. And these contracts are now averaging from $100 million plus.
Yeah.
So like I said, the Dodgers and the Yankees were the 2 teams that were supposed to be in the World Series because all the talent they got, and they're paying them.
So why are they holding back so much money? Are they actually going somewhere else? Like they always say they're going to a different area in Chicago or a suburb in Chicago.
Listen,
or even out of the whole state. Remember,
I'm not a millionaire yet.
that's right.
Okay,
Yeah, that's the word. Yes.
right. I'm not a millionaire yet. And I have not worked and I have not owned a professional organization. Okay, but it is obvious that when you win 6 championships off of a lucky landing of Michael Jordan, and then you win not lucky because the 05 team of the White Sox were really good, but no one expected them to be good. They ended up doing crazy things and won the championship. You got 7 chips. I think owners sometimes just, I got 7 championships. Like, this is my team and I built 7 championships. Sometimes I think owners lay back a little bit, but really what the issue is now is that this is going to be a really, really quick answer. It's cheap. He's cheap. It's cheap ownership. Like they don't pay anyone, like I said earlier, for talent to come by. Then that sets an atmosphere for players not wanting to be here, And then of course, who wants to, it's your job. But when you're out on the field and you're losing daily, the morale is completely tarnished.
Yeah.
You can't perform while and then you're working, but you got to go back out there and do it. There's social media. You don't listen to it as a player, but it's out there. You hear the fans talking while you're there. They're booing. It's not a good environment, and that starts from the top. And so now, you got the White Sox who are the 2nd team in the city with rumors of potential relocation because he may sell the team, and the new owner may want to be like, you know what, this is not a good place. Blah blah blah. Let's relocate, and then of course for tax purposes, for all that,
or just the voodoo is on the voodoo's on the land or something because these guys majorly suck. Suck. Sucks. I'm just saying this to get on his nerves. Suck.
And then now the White Sox want to build a new stadium in downtown Chicago, but then Jerry's asking for taxpayers to pay. Like it's just not, that all leads to relocation.
But Jerry's not a millionaire no more. He's a billionaire, correct?
Yes, he's a billionaire. That's correct.
So he could do it. He's just being cheap right now.
He's being cheap. He's being cheap and protecting his assets, which is what you do as a rich person. I get it, but he also owns the Bulls.
There's generational wealth there like beyond belief.
Yeah. So, and just to keep it clear, he has already mentioned that he's going to sell the White Sox probably, and it's more likely that his son will take over, which I would not like that as a fan, but that's another conversation.
It's here and there.
And the Bulls are going to stay under him, he said. So far, that's what the update is. And I want the fans want him to sell the team. That he has to sell the team. Sell the team, please. There needs to be new ownership. And we are praying as fans that the new ownership cares about the fans on the South Side, and that if we end up moving from that stadium to a different stadium, that things work out well, and that we bring good caliber players to the South Side.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you see,
how stressed I am
as
talking
you see,
about
ladies
this?
and gentlemen, he is stressed out, very passionate about this.
Pretty good though. This is my favorite team.
We need to move on to the next hot topic because the next
We'll keep going.
icebreaker because he's going to keep on and on and on. I mean, I'm about to call the therapist to come in here and help this man out.
That's bad, man. It's your
So-
fault.
So, if you had a choice, right, arroz blanco or arroz con habichuela,
Arroz con habichuela, bro. Arroz con habichuela.
why is that?
It's just I could blame grandma for that.
Wait, it's for the viewers before you get to the abuela part. For the viewers, that's white rice,
Right.
Or it's a yellow rice with beans that Puerto Ricans make. We call it, arroz con gandules.
Yeah, it's not an easy pick. Like if I had to lean towards one, I'll go arroz con habichuela, which is not the white rice. I feel like it has more flavor, right? Tiene más sazón, all that stuff. That's what I would lean towards. But arroz blanco with a little bit of a chuleta and some con papa and habichuela. Man, stop.
I just took Gregory, our intern, to where I take you, Jibaritos y Más.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it's called Jibaritos, the one in Harlem.
Yeah.
And he was just eating up that rice, boy, that yellow rice.
It's the best rice. It's the best rice out of all.
My favorite rice is white rice with beans on the side.
Yeah, that's good too. I mean, you can't go wrong, honestly.
Especially with the black beans on the side.
Ooh, yeah.
Get it saucy. Yeah.
Tengo hambre.
Well, he has half a jibarito left.
All right, Gregory.
And some totones too.
See you in a bit, bro.
So if you're going on a long trip, right? Let's say you're going on a long trip, let's say a state that we like. L.A. You go to L.A., right?
Cali.
Cali. There you go. A city. What would you listen to in the car? Would it be, you got two choices. Would it be R&B or would it be hip-hop? And it could be a genre of, it could be Christian R&B or Christian hip-hop, or it could just be the old
I
school
only could
hip-hop.
pick those two?
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are the choices right now.
Man, it's tough. I like them both. But if I had to go a whole trip, I'll take hip hop. Give me some hip hop.
Okay. Why?
Yeah, I love lyricism. I love people who can. This is what I like with hip hop artists. I like the art of it. A lot of hip hop artists talk about the struggle. Like there's always a struggle, right? Which is the art of that. I think that's how hip hop was born, right? Back in the day, you're rapping about the struggle of whatever your experiences are. So that's one thing. It's cool to hear that art. The second is the artistic part of the cadences that they provide. The cadences evolved over time from 70s into now. One of my favorite artists as a hip hop artist, his name is Joyner Lucas, and his hip hop is it's not Christian, but he presents a visual to his art, and a lot of it has to do with like drunk driving, addictions, and stuff like that.
What's his name again?
Joyner Lucas.
I think Astonish from Astonish Out podcast that's on the Flavor Network.
Yeah.
He showed me some videos of that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Freaking awesome.
Oh yeah, he did the one "I'm Not Racist" in 2017, where
Yeah,
the white
yeah,
and black
that's-
guy.
that same guy, yeah.
That's Joyner Lucas. So his artistic visuals are amazing, but that's his forte, and that's what people know him for. People disrespect him on the music level because they call him corny, or they'll call him, like he's not Drake. He's not the big guys, right? And I appreciate him because not only is he rapping in the visual stuff, but like in his rap, he is so versatile with his cadence, with the things he's talking about. His rhymes they're sick, right? And then the last thing is that he doesn't hold back. Like he can just change up. He can change the way he delivers his message like all the time. And every time he talks about something, it's a deep topic, and you can vibe to it.
It's mad deep. You could dive into it.
Yeah.
It's a pool of being deep. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's like when you go to the deep end at the public pool. You go to the deep end. You're going down. You're going down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I watched the 2 videos of that guy, and then I watched his documentary as well.
Yeah.
Astonish showed me his documentary.
Yeah.
Amazing with that first the kid who got shot in the head.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, that's called what the heck is that video called? Something Capaccieri or something like that. Ross Capaccieri, I forget the guy's last name, but it's a reenactment of what the kid went through, where he got shot in the head, and his thing about what he does visually is he shows both perspectives of two
Yeah,
parties.
that's the banana part.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's straight up bananas.
It's great.
I mean, and I loved watching the documentary when the kid was actually talking about the same situation.
Yeah,
And
the actual kid you're talking about?
The actual kid, and just bringing it broader, a broader vision for we could see what really happened that day, and it was just all for an initiation of a gang.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's bananas. If I just told you what it was, sorry, watch it anyways. It's gonna be great.
No, you'll like it, and that's why Joyner is a beast, because he took that story, he put it on paper first, rhymed it, then you know wordplay. You're a hip hop guy. He word played his first verse of the victim to match the wordplay of the actual,
Which is not easy to do.
That's crazy.
You're doing both sides now. That's just awesome,
Joyner,
bro.
if you're watching this, bro, I need you, man. Much love, Joyner.
And you're saying that too, and you're on this podcast right now, which is Flava Podcast. But you have a podcast yourself
Yes.
that we're not going to right now because we're still on. But we're gonna get back. We're gonna get to that.
Sure.
So hip hop is what you're listening to.
Yeah, I meant to say all that. Sorry, I know I went on 40 tangents, but the reason, that's why I like hip hop, because of stuff like that. Joyner replicates that very well.
Okay. So my thing is really R&B because I see R&B songs a little longer, and I'm a lover, not a fighter. So
Gotcha.
R&B is for me.
Yeah.
What else is out here? What was your first car?
Ford Escort 1991, red, rust on the sides.
Yeah, I was gonna say you actually own a Ford Escort.
I did. I was 18 years old.
You were single for a very long time.
About a year. I had my ways. Got around it. It had a sunroof, bro. We started.
Oh, it had a sunroof.
We started there.
Oh my God, luxury!
I also bought it for $500 with 77,000 miles on it. It was a steal. It lasted me for 5 years.
Look, Gregory.
Hey, bro.
You saw where he was driving.
Yeah.
You could do the same thing too, puppy.
Yeah.
Let's get that car.
I'll never forget the car. It took me everywhere. It broke down, but it took me everywhere.
Took you everywhere to break down.
Yeah. I fixed a lot of stuff on it, but I was 18. Just what you're supposed to. You're supposed to struggle and learn. You learn the way to be a man, to be an adult. You know, like you gotta do what you gotta do.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, good Lord, I'm a little lost here. So, yeah, this is what I'm going to bring up. I just said Poppy, right?
You did, yeah.
Because I was telling Gregory earlier, because he called me Theo in the car. We're driving. He's like, "Thank you, Theo, for the food," right?
Oh, yeah.
And I said, "Don't do that." And he said, "Oh, I won't do it. I won't call you Unc either." I'm like, "No. The Unc is okay.
Yeah.
I could take the Unc, but Theo is like, I'm not feeling the Theo part. You know what I'm saying?"
Right.
And then I got into him saying about how we call guys Poppy, or girls call us Poppy, but I don't like being called Daddy.
Right. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like if a female would say something about Daddy, I'm like, I'm not your dad. Don't do that.
Yeah,
It's just different in English and Spanish. Either word.
Yeah. It's different perspective. It's the way it's taken.
Yeah. How do you break those down? Because in my head, don't call me Daddy.
Yeah. Daddy.
I'm okay with Poppy, but don't call me Theo. I'm okay with Unc.
It's a culture thing. So like when a Puerto Rican dude says like, Bobby, ¿cómo está? Like, okay, cool. Like, you call him, what's up, bro? Like, what's up? It's not, he's not calling you dad, literally, but Papi's it's a term of endearment. Like,
Right.
What's up, Bobby, ¿cómo está? You got a girl calling you daddy. It definitely, it's uncomfortable too, I think, in my perspective, because you're just like, yeah, number one, I'm not your daddy, but then number two, it's very like it's a flirtatious, I think, attonation, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
like,
no, it's just what it is. It's sexual.
Yeah, it's sexual. Yeah, it's just kind of like, you don't
do that.
Don't. Now, when a girl calls you Poppy, it's a little bit different, and that's where the culture part comes in. Because if my girl, if I had a girlfriend and she was like Poppy and Paca, like okay, what you want? Like that part, it made sense.
So if she calls you Daddy.
She calls you Daddy, it's like
we're not married yet.
Yeah, like unless we in the room or we're doing extracurricular activities.
Don't call me Daddy.
Don't call me Daddy.
Yeah, don't call me Daddy.
Yeah,
No,
especially not in public. I don't know if that makes sense.
So, if you had to pick a sport, baseball or football?
Baseball.
Okay. Why baseball?
I think it's number one. Because I'm not gonna say because I'm Puerto Rican, but I am. But baseball is one of the sports that really is the elements of the game are so they're so tight. Like in the regular season, it's kind of hard to watch baseball. It's a long game, and it's understandable that that part of it if you're watching it. And when you're playing it, it's a whole nother experience, of course. But when you get to the postseason, and I always compare like postseason sports like NHL hockey playoffs, the NBA playoffs, the football and the playoffs, right, and then baseball. I look at those 4 sports, right, and I say, well, which sport like really, is like everything is so intense. And hockey is honestly, I think, the best sport when it comes to like playoff action, because anything can happen at any moment and it's timed, right? But with baseball, which is also timed now, it becomes like every pitch is like so essential. Every little move that you do is essential. The guy leading off on first by an inch can get out, right? The pitch that the pitcher throws. People forget with baseball, when they're batting, you're not batting just to hit you're batting to hit the ball, but you got to do a couple things. Number one, you got to determine the velocity of the ball. Number two, you got to determine the type of pitch. Is it going to be a changeup, fastball, curveball? That thing could be starting up here and it could end you have to be able to determine it. And then also you got to determine the health of the pitcher. Is he tired? Is he going to make a mistake? Like, you got to determine all this stuff. The pitcher has to do the same thing. I got to outsmart you. I'm going to throw a fastball down the middle, see if you hit it. Boom, he didn't swing. All right, do I throw a changeup now, or does he think I'm going to throw a fastball? This is all trying to outsmart. It's like chess every freaking pitch, right?
Right.
And so that's why I like baseball so much. And then when you get to the postseason, like I mentioned, it's just magnified. It's magnified by 50, because now, like, it's not the regular season. Every pitch counts now. You got 3 chances to win the first round. 5 or whatever. You should
have been at the batting cage. Just put it that way.
Yeah, it's just it's intense. So the intensity of baseball, I think, because of the postseason, is why I would choose that over football. Although football is a fun sport, and the hat I'm wearing right now,
not for Chicago,
makes me cry. Yeah, after what happened last week, if you don't remember, that Hail Mary from Washington was devastating.
Come on, Green Bay.
But yes, I know what I'm dealing with in front of me right now. And,
ignoring me.
Just be ready. Be ready for your first 2 losses in a while. Baseball over football.
So I like that. So now we're going to segue into something else, but I'm going to say this first. So you picked baseball. Baseball or boxing?
Boxing.
Why is that?
Boxing is my second favorite sport. It is a sport that, let me put it to you this way. First of all, when you train, you find out who you are as a human being. I feel. What you can and can't do with your body. Boxing training is the most intense with MMA. I'll put that in there too. It is the most intense training that you will ever experience in your life, because you're testing your physical, your mental. You're testing literally everything about you. I ran a marathon. I ran 2 marathons, and I will tell you that both experiences were slightly different. The first one sucked. The second one was a little better because I prepared better. But really, I was hurt on both of them. I had injuries, but I don't remember any injuries. You know what I remember was me trying to quit. In mile 20, I wanted to quit. I was like, first, the 2 things I was asking myself is, why am I doing this? Like, what am I doing? Like, this is dumb. This is also inhumane. Like, human beings should not be running 26.2 miles. Seriously.
My knees.
Yeah.
My knees.
And it's funny, those questions that I was asking those questions in mile 20 in both marathons. It came up. The same mile. I was like.
So a marathon is how long?
26.2 miles.
Jesus Christ. I've only done 5Ks.
Yeah.
And I've wanted to quit at the 5Ks.
Yeah. 26.2. But when you do the marathons, you train weekly. There's regiments, and that's how I was able to do it. I want to do one more next year. I'm going to try to, my last one, the third one.
Right.
But I relate that to boxing, because with boxing, that's one element of it, is that you're just testing your soul, it feels like, besides the physical. The second thing is, there's no sport that is, you're trying to kill the other person. And when you are done with that fight, you shake hands.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
Hey, you give a big abrazo.
That's incredible. A good fight. You did
a good kid.
Yeah. And really, I've seen boxers that literally do hate each other. They don't like each other at all. And they show it in the promo, the build-up, the press conferences, the weigh-ins. Then they get to the fight, and when they're done with the fight, all you can do is say, "Good job, my boy. Good job, girl." You have to respect the other opponent. That's why I love boxing. I grew up watching boxing, Puerto Rican, Tito Trinidad, Miguel Cotto, my family was ingrained in it. So that's another reason why too. But the first 2 reasons are better.
So talking about boxing, you have a show on boxing. Am I correct about that?
I do.
Or just sports, or just boxing, or is it just sports?
It was sports originally, but now it's boxing. I do have another podcast, a sports one. But yeah, the one you're talking about is it's a boxing podcast called The Parlay.
The Parlay.
Yes.
So if you could point your finger just like this, I'm asking you to point your finger.
Oh, do it right now?
Like this.
Yeah.
There you go. Camera on him, not me. and it's going to pop up right there on the screen. Make sure you guys subscribe to that podcast. It's on YouTube, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, it's all YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, all platforms.
Okay. So when you guys talking about boxing, do you do this with someone else, or is it just a solo show?
Yeah, so the show is technically the show. I host and produce the show. It is Kendall Gill's show. Kendall Gill's is a 15 NBA veteran. He played from 1991 to 2006. He played Michael Jordan. He played Michael, Kobe in the 90s, all that into his latter part of his career. And he's known as a former basketball player, but he's from here, Chicago. And he came up with the idea of doing a show. I had worked with him at Comcast Sportsnet when I worked at the TV station as a production assistant. And the funny story is that I was in studio back in 2010, and I used to print script for the anchors and statistics for the analysis. And so I came in to print that for a show, but in the studio there's like 2 sets or 3 sets. So I was at one set, and the third set, Kendall Gill was there getting ready for the Bulls pregame show, and he starts talking about Tito Trinidad. And if you guys don't know who Tito is, Tito Trinidad is a Puerto Rican boxer, legend, Hall of Famer.
You saw how he switched that up, right? He switched that up from English to Spanish.
Yeah, you gotta say Tito Trinidad. It's right here, this guy right here.
Bro, he's got a screensaver.
That's right.
Have you met this guy yet?
I'm about to.
You should, because you got a screensaver, bro.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. I got some connections in Puerto Rico. Hopefully this year.
Let's go.
But he was talking about Tito. He was from the 90s, and Kendall was, watched boxing. I didn't know that.
Can I start the interview right now?
Yeah.
Because I'm asking you a question.
Yeah.
So when you find the love of your life, is your love of your life going to be on that screensaver, or is it going to be Tito Trinidad?
It'd probably be Tito. It's gonna be Tito. I'm sorry. The love of my life can wait. She can be on other stuff.
So say what you're gonna say.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that popped in my head. I had to.
Yeah, forewarning if you're watching.
Yes.
But yeah, no. So he was talking about Tito, and then I went over to him and I really asked him. I was like, because I didn't know. Like, what do you know about Tito? And then he just looked at me and said, "What you know about Tito?" And I was like, "Oh, what?" And so we just had like a 5-minute conversation about Tito and Puerto Rican boxing, and he used to go to Tito's fights all the time. Okay. He was at Madison Square Garden, and that conversation started a friendship to where like we would talk outside of work about boxing and about sports, but more about boxing. And later on in life, 6 years afterwards, we created a show called The Parlay. It was a sports show at first for about a year and a half, and then we decided that everybody has a sports show. We need to do something that has a niche, boxing. Boxing's not on everyday TV.
That's good.
Boxing is mostly found on the internet, socials, and that community is deep. And as soon as we did the boxing thing, we grew up to, I talked to the summit, we grew up 7,000 subscribers because people are looking for boxing content online, right? Mm-hmm. It's not on your everyday ABC 7 and 5 o'clock and ESPN News. It's not on there all the time. So that's how that happened. And it's his show, but I host and produce. I run the show. Kendall is the guy. He drops the knowledge.
He's the face.
He's just boom. It's KG. He's the original KG, not Kevin Garnett. Remember that.
Okay, awesome. So right now we're gonna take a commercial break because I need to pay for this. Let's go.
Hey, you guys. This is Suli with the Flava Podcast Network, and I'm here to let you know that this episode is brought to you by Zoe Hammond with Dreamtown Real Estate. Now, are you looking for a realtor with years of experience in the Chicago and Chicagoland area to help you sell your home, find the perfect property, find the right rental, or even help you find the perfect tenants for yours? Well, Zoe Hammond is here for all of your real estate needs, and you can contact her at 773-891-6867. Now that's Zoe Hammond with Dreamtown Real Estate at 773-891-6867.
So we are back with Tony TLO Lopez. Hey, Tony, you just did the Chicago Podcast Summit for me. How was that experience?
It was great, man. I met a lot of people that have passions. I think one of the things that even as Christians, like, they say, get together with the men, right? Or you need to surround yourself with believers, or, to help your relationship and to stay on the path. I think the summit reminded me of being surrounded by people who are, that have goals, right? That have a passion for something, right? And I think that that's important because, you can be by yourself, you can be creating content, you can be doing things. And I've done this before where I'm doing it, but then when you're doing it, you feel like you're alone. Like you're just like, I'm posting, I'm doing this, and I feel like I'm not reaching anybody. Or the question I always tell my students when they first come into class for orientation, I say, listen, or not the question, the remark I make is, you're gonna have a moment where, and I think I said this in my part at the summit, where you're gonna have a moment where you're asking yourself, am I wasting my time? Like, it's naturally there as a human being. You're gonna ask yourself, what am I doing? Am I wasting my time? Am I wasting my finances on something that I know is probably not gonna go through fruition? So, I think the journey has to include whatever goal that is. You have to surround yourself with people who have goals to encourage you, to open your mind to different things, to maybe open your mind to an idea that's better than the one you had before. And the summit reminded me of that with everybody that was there. Like you brought entrepreneurs and podcasters together, something that's kind of weird, but
Never been done.
never been done yet.
Well, not here in Chicago.
Yeah, and yet it is conducive to the plan. Like I learned a lot from people who are real estate agents, and the middleman in that part, like people like Jenny and stuff like that, to see what they do, and then they're putting that on a platform for podcasting. It was just like, yeah, you know what, this is good. Like people out here trying to attain their goals, and I feel like the summit did that. It brought people together, and what it did was remotivated. Me personally, remotivated me to stay the path and continue to fight, right? And not that I was going to quit, but it's always a good, like, hey, wake up. You're still there. Keep going. Keep fighting. I think that's what the summer brought. Besides that, quality speakers and learning from like what they're doing, how they're presenting, how they're organizing their business, and trying to maybe take some of their ways and implement it in what I'm doing, I guess. So I think the summer was great.
Yeah, I think I didn't know what it was going to look like. It was the first time doing it here in Chicago, and, but I know what I seen from my mentor David Shands. And I went to one of his summits in Atlanta and another one in Miami. And I said, I need to bring this to Chicago. And I spoke to him about that. And he said, there's no one in Chicago doing it.
Yeah.
We got podcasters all over Chicago, but no one's really doing something like that. And podcasters are not really showing their faces like that.
Yeah.
And he said, well, there's no king. Be the king. And I took that word. I said, okay, I'm gonna be the king of podcasting in Chicago.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show my face. I'm gonna be out there in people's faces all the time. And it was a little scary for me to do that, but since I've already been into the business, I'm like, it's just a different kind of being in the audience or not, or being on stage or whatnot.
Sure.
And I took it, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Finding out stuff like from the podcast summit, people were actually doing business together now.
Yeah, the collaborations. Yeah, that's what I forgot to say too. Was that the potential collaborations you could have? Yeah,
yeah. It was huge. People were actually getting together. To this day, I'm still hearing, "Yo, I got together with this person, and now I'm podcasting with that person." Or I have business coming through with this new person I met at the summit. So the summit did what it was supposed to do. It was bring people together for they could level up and scale up their business. So next year, 2025, it's going to be even better. I'm going to try to get the Puerto Rican Museum of History and Art. So I know the people there.
Very nice.
Shout out to Gutierrez. Gutierrez, make it happen.
It was a great idea.
It was great.
It was a great idea. You did a great job. For the first of its kind here, and your first one ever. So I'm sure you'll know some things to work out for the next one.
Oh, absolutely.
And you also learned yourself some things. So
absolutely.
It was great. It was great.
Yeah.
I'm grateful too, because not only was I able to benefit from it, but my students also were. They came and to help and intern. So
Shouts out to those students. I'm sorry for last time I didn't give you a shout out when I was doing it, but TLO jumped in in the comments, and he made sure you guys are on there.
Yeah. Tay, Journey, Greg, Vicky, all of them. Yeah. Great job.
Vicky is definitely.
Victoria, sorry, flip phone. We call her flip phone. Right?
I call it Flippy.
Flippy. There it is.
Shouts out to Flippy, and shouts out because you mentioned her earlier. Jennifer Sanchez.
Yes.
Shouts out Jennifer Sanchez. She's a big help on everything that she does.
Well, she's the reason why I'm here.
Yeah.
This is the reason why I know you.
100% she's the reason.
Yeah. So
yeah.
there you
100%.
go. Big shout out to you, Jenny.
Yeah, hugely. And there was a lot of things that people didn't see. There was a lot of mishaps in the background, but a lot of people didn't see that. I thought they did, but I have encouragement from other people like, we didn't even know that was going on.
Yeah. I don't even know what you're talking about, so don't worry about it.
So I was like, right. I was just like, man, this is going bad. This is going bad over here. And people are like, we're enjoying ourselves. And I'm like, oh, okay, amen to that. But I definitely next year I know what to improve on.
Yeah.
And also one thing that I learned not to put everything on myself. When I was in the entertainment field, when it came to nightclubs and concerts and jazz and comedy and all that stuff, I put a lot on myself.
Yeah.
And I wanted to run that way because I didn't want nobody touching it and making it theirs. I wanted to make those things mine.
Yeah.
I have to share this. I have to share this with everybody. I have to share that stage and the ideas that come through to put that on those stages for people to learn. It can't just come from me. And
that's good.
I have to learn also to get help when it's time to pick up a stage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bring some speakers in, get a DJ. All kinds of stuff, I did everything on my own, and I was totally overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But I'm learning. I'm learning off of that, learning off the great entrepreneurs that I hang around with Ron Martinez and of course, Jennifer Sanchez and Marta Rasso, because they're like, why don't you just give us that to do? I'm like, because
you're so used to it. I understand.
It's like, that's kind of my event, and I don't think you wanted to do that for me.
Yeah.
Because it's my event. They're like, nah. They showed mad love.
Yeah.
Mad love. As you saw, you got to use the TV.
Yeah. No, for
Some
sure.
speakers didn't even use the TV.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what to do at that time because I was so busy with everything else. But Ron Martinez jumped in and you got to use the TV. And
shout out to Ron Martinez. He came through clutch. He came through clutch out there.
Yeah.
So
we're going to get a little bit into you. So, Tony, who were you at 10 years old?
Who was I at 10 years old? I was in elementary school, and I loved sports, and I played basketball. I was just a sports guy. I loved to be outside, ride my bike, play, shoot hoops in my driveway. I just was a sports guy. I loved sports. I'd watch sports all the time. I'd listen to the radio to games, Bulls games specifically. As a matter of fact, ironically, my radio TV broadcasting journey, I always introduce a story where I was 10, I'd watch Bulls games, and then I would listen to the radio station for the post-game show. I'd call the post-game show. I'd take a boombox, for those of you that know what that is. I'd take a boombox, I'd get a cassette tape, hit record on it, overwrite whatever was on there while the radio station was on. Meanwhile, I'm on the call. They say, Tony from Zion, what do you want to talk about? The Bulls. I comment on the Bulls game, stop the call, go back to the boombox, hit stop, rewind the cassette, hit play, and say, I was on the radio. It was like, a little music in the backdrop, you know what I mean?
Awesome.
But yeah, I was a sports guy. I was a kid.
Sports kid,
man. Yeah.
You were still riding a bike?
Yeah,
all that stuff?
I was a kid. I lived in the suburbs, so I had a bike. I'd ride with my cousin. That was the guy I grew up with, Kevin.
What are you trying to say? The kids in the city don't have a bike? I had a bike.
True. I had long trails.
Okay.
I got to ride my bike in long trails and
yeah,
parks.
because we went to corner to corner.
That's
how
I know.
we could have gone. Until our mom went to sleep or something. Then we went, from Homo Park to Lakeshore Drive and then back, with our butts hurting because that was too far.
Yeah. Okay. No, but I also was a kid. Like I wasn't just sports, but I did my thing. I threw rocks in the backyard, and
Threw rocks at what?
At squirrels and stuff, and
So for other PETA people.
Yeah, I was being a young boy.
There you go, you threw rocks at
animals.
Did you have a dog?
I did not have a dog. No, my parents didn't have any pets. The only thing they had was goldfish and a finch. So sorry, they did have pets, but they weren't like dogs, cats, or anything
Wait
like
a
that.
second, goldfishes.
Yeah.
And a finch. What's a finch?
A finch, a bird, a finch.
Oh, it's little.
Yeah.
They're like yellow or
They're like
green?
sing. Yeah, one of those.
You guys seen it here.
Yeah.
You guys seen it here.
Go look at a finch and how it sings. It's beautiful. But yeah, we had fishes and birds.
Okay, so you had mom and pops. You had mom and pops at home.
Correct. Yeah, mom and stepdad. Yeah.
So you had brothers and sisters?
No. I'm sorry. I basically grew up solo until age 12. Sorry. I had my brother was born when I was 12, and then I had a third brother when I was 19. Okay. So we were spread apart.
Camera on me, please. Camera on me. He said no first. Just get him at Thanksgiving. Get him at Thanksgiving for that. It's gonna be
Sorry, guys.
It's gonna be interesting on the table, on the Thanksgiving table.
Ironically, I'm going with the second brother today to the concert. So sorry, bro. Hope you never see this.
So, how was your relationship with your family?
Just all my family, like
With
just
your family that lived with you in
in
the suburbs where you could ride your bike.
Yeah, that part when I had space. Yeah, it was good. You know, and I'm a mama's boy. I definitely I have this. I'll say that. So let me rephrase that. I'm a mama's boy, but I have my separate. I can separate from my mother. Okay. My brothers
for bringing the camera back. Yeah. For all the ladies out there. They just heard him say he's a mama's boy. You already know. You already know. Yeah, Mommy's going to be sitting at the front seat. You're going to be sitting in the back. That's how it's going to grow. Well, we'll see. He said we can separate it. So how much do you separate it?
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. My mother's 15 years apart from me. So there's the math there. So we're like brother and sister almost. It's weird. But she had me when she was 15 and she did her thing. She went to high school, finished. She went to college, got an associate's, like with me. She did it all with me. You know, it wasn't pretty, but she did it.
Come on, somebody.
And shout out to you, Mom. Love you. But it was my relationship with my mom was great. My stepdad, you know, he was my stepdad. He's my dad, you know, because I grew up with him, so I give him that respect. You know, we had our tussles and turns. You know, I think like any kid, right? Like a guy.
He's a dad.
He's a dad.
Have a tussle and turn with regular dads. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And so that relationship was there. My two little brothers, they basically became like I'm not their dad, but I'm their older brother. I'm their way older brother, and so I ended up becoming almost like a father figure to both of them in certain ways. More the third one. The second one, he was already there, but the third one specifically. And so that relationship, you know, it was great. But I had to do a lot of correcting to them because, you know, I had to, you know what I'm saying? But it was good, you know. We all, you know, the great thing is that every family has their issues, right? And relational issues and things of that nature. I think the cool thing was that we were, you know, beyond the issues that we represented, we still stuck together. We still love each other. We still talk about things. And, you know, so more things will come up and we'll have to handle them and deal with them. But I think it was solid. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So can I ask you, your father wasn't around, your biological father?
Yeah, my biological father wasn't around. But there was a situation to where, you know, my mother met my stepdad a little after they broke up. And I guess, you know, there was a big miscommunication on who I could see or be with. And so I didn't know my father growing up. I only knew him from age 1 to 5. And then we reconnected later in life when I was 30, 31, I think. Yeah, 31, around that age.
So about 6 years ago.
About 6 years ago, yeah. Mm-hmm. And, you know, and of course I'm not going to, you know, divulge information from him and whatever. But to give you a long story short, we've reconnected and it's been amazing, you know, and we talked about, you know, what's happened in life and
awesome.
What, you know, why things happened the way they happened, you know, and of course, you know, me as a, I say as a, being, I don't want to say ignorant, but I guess ignorant to like what happened, you know, because when you're younger, you just don't think about life and what happened. You think about like, well, you weren't there, you know, like, you know, who are you? You know, you get those thoughts. But once you like you listen and you ask questions that you never asked before, you start to see what really happened, and that's what really opened up my relationship with my biological father. Where now, you know, like we're pals. You know, we're cool. You know, this year we went to a White Sox game together, and that was he's the reason why I'm a White Sox fan. He's a diehard White Sox fan. I didn't know that.
So your father really took you down the wrong path.
It's him. Okay. He's doing well. Thank you, Dad. But you know, it's awesome because I'm glad I'm able to do that. Right. Yeah. I think I felt kind of like immature in the beginning when I first encountered him, and we ended up finally figuring out the things that happened, and then bam, the relationship was there, you know? So I have a great relationship with both my dads. Awesome. You know, it's you know, nothing's pretty, you know, life happens.
No, it sounds awesome. It sounds amazing that you could actually, years later, mend that, because I'm pretty sure while you were younger, you know, you said, I know this is my stepfather, my father's somewhere else. Why isn't he here?
Yeah, for sure.
Things that we thought. I thought the same thing. My father wasn't around when I was younger. When I was younger as well, Actually, didn't get a chance. I met him twice in my life, but didn't get a chance to rehash or have conversations like you did with your dad. He passed away. I ended up just going to Puerto Rico and just burying him.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful that you had a chance to do that with your father.
Yeah.
And I know you're a Christian. I don't know if he is.
Yeah.
But it's a good way to show the love of Christ with you forgiving, because sometimes we want to hold back the anger that we had when we were children. Why weren't you around?
For sure.
But you had a chance to forgive him for not being around for whatever reasons happened.
For sure.
He had whatever reasons he had to not be around or he couldn't be around.
Yeah.
You gave him that chance.
Yeah, and it wasn't totally his fault either. You know, like I said, I found out a lot of information of what happened during the time period and what happened throughout my childhood, and it opened. I said, "Oh, wow, okay," and it was confirmed through both my mother and father, and you know, and they're great. You know, like
You were asking both questions after you talked to him. You're asking your mom questions. About
oh man, when I first met my father, I was like, "Mom, like what's going on? Like, how, you know, you didn't tell me this, you know." And then my dad, like, "Hey, like this, you know," and they both confirmed the same information. And then so when I said, "Wow, okay, well this makes a lot of sense on why things happen the way they happen."
That's amazing to have both of them say, "Yes, that's what happened."
Yeah. Yeah.
Not one of them say, "No, I didn't." So no, that wasn't my fault. That was his fault. They actually said it.
They acknowledged what happened, yeah. And that gave me, I was like, wow, okay, well, see, and in my head, you know, you're thinking the worst. You're thinking that you're not wanted. But now that I knew what happened, I said, wow. And, you know, and of course, like, yeah, being a Christian, like, it's one of the things that I think any human being deserves is to be able to, if your father is here, to get to know them, to talk to them, to find out, you know, just what's going on. And, you know, I thank God that he's given me the opportunity to do that with my biological father and to also maintain a relationship with my stepdad, you know, because also what you run into is, you know, now the stepdad who brought you up is aware that you're now talking to your biological father, and then he's wondering where the love is. You know what I mean? So now it's like expressing love to both, like, you know,
and there's room for that. There's
room.
Both.
Yeah. At first I didn't know how to handle it for the first year. I was like, this is gonna be weird.
You were 31 when this all happened.
Yeah. So, but over time, I've been able to understand and deviate, you know, the attention, you know, the way it should be, equally and so forth, and also the biggest thing too, besides maintaining my friendship and with my biological father, which I want, right, is to also make sure that my stepfather does understand and know that I will consider him my father because he brought me up. Yeah, you know,
and he invested in you.
And he invested, yeah. In the regard, I was just this one annoying kid when I was 5, and he was 24 or whatever when he met my mom, and I was reckless, and he was like, "I'll deal with this kid while I talk to her," you know. So he was able to, you know, we had our own, excuse me, we had our own riffs and rafts. He was a very disciplined man, and I had my issues with some things.
Latino?
Puerto Rican, yeah, Puerto Rican. But at the end of the day, like, you know, as a grown man now, I'm thankful for him maintaining me, my mother at the time when things were there, and you know, I always want him to know that, yeah, you're my dad, you brought me up, and you're never gonna lose that spot. I do have a father, right, and I am gonna have a relationship with him because I want it and I need it, but I will also maintain my relationship with you. I'm not